Welcome to 500 Doors, your real estate podcast. Speaking with industry experts in real estate buying, selling, planning, developing, wholesaling, investing, financing, management. If it's real estate, we're talking about it. I'm your host, Kim Hayden, an award-winning 6- and 7-figure real estate agent with over 2 decades of experience. Understanding real estate is a dream for many, that we, real estate professionals, have the ability to bring that dream to reality while building better communities and being the change we want to see. All righty, welcome to the show, Kris. How are you today?
I'm doing well. How are you?
I am doing awesome. I think you're probably warmer than I am because you're down south and we're just starting to thaw here in Canada. Before we find out about your markets, what you do, and all the excitement that you are, the momentum you're creating there, can you give us a little bit of insight as to who is Kris?
Oh, yeah. I was born in Mississippi and lived there until I was about 13. And then I moved to Tennessee when my mom got a new job up there. And I was in Tennessee from 13 until I joined the Navy in 1995. And then from there, the Navy took me all over the world. Got to see Hawaii, Singapore, Guam, Japan, lots of places, Australia. Kind of a fun time. Did that for 26 years. Just retired back in 2021. As I was approaching retirement, I decided that real estate was my passion and that's what I wanted to do. So I got licensed right before I retired, and just haven't looked back since. Actually, I'm also a real estate investor. I started investing initially in 2004. Bought my first house in 04, second in 05, and then really jumped into the investment real estate full time in 2019.
Oh, wow. Yeah. And things are shifting and changing so quickly right now. That's such an interesting world because I think there's new opportunities even opening up. Somebody was talking about storage. Storage lockers are part
Yes,
of a
sir.
risk.
There's a lot of investors out there going the self
Yeah.
storage route.
Car washes was another one,
Yeah,
right? Again,
left and right.
I'm sitting here going, I never thought about car washes as a real estate portfolio.
Right.
And yet I interviewed somebody and that's all they do. So tell us a little bit about your markets. I want to dive in just a bit on, I'm thinking that with all the travel and the experience and the structure that you were able to grow over a 26-year career in the forces, that may have influenced in how you serve or interact with your clients. Can you tell us about the markets that you're in and what do you believe sets you apart from what we see as a typical agent?
Okay. So I'm in the Hampton Roads area of Virginia. That's the southeasternmost part of Virginia. So we've got Virginia Beach, Norfolk, Chesapeake, Suffolk, Isle of Wight County, York County, Newport News, Hampton, and Portsmouth. So basically the 7 cities of Hampton Roads, there's 7 independent cities instead of counties, and then some of the outlying counties as well. I'm also an agent in North Carolina, so the northeastern part of North Carolina. So basically a wedge from like Franklin, Virginia, all the way east, and then like North Carolina from about Ahoskie east, and then down to about Hertford. So quite a large area that I cover, and I've had
So
success in both markets.
it's a lot of driving.
So yeah, it's definitely a lot of driving. I actually recently moved from Norfolk, which is a little bit more north in the south side of Hampton Roads, to Chesapeake, which is a little further south and central. So Chesapeake's kind of the central location for all of Hampton Roads, including northern North Carolina. So I'm about 30 minutes from everywhere right now.
What do you
Yeah, it's
feel
definitely a lot
is
of driving.
makes so you've had success in multiple markets and I mean people are coming to you. So we hear, funnels, we hear all this other stuff. But at the end of the day, and I know this sounds awful, and anybody who's new to real estate who's listening to this probably like, oh, no, no, no. But at the end of the day, it really comes down to the agent. It's not about the brokerage. It's not about anything like that. It comes down to the individual and the principles and the values and the service they bring. What do you believe is your strength, your core strength that has separated you from the masses? Because 87% of agents who get their license are out in 36 months.
True.
And the average agent is, makes less than 70K a year. They're doing, maybe 7 transactions, 5, 7 transactions a year. What do you attribute your success to?
I'd say mostly communication is one of the things that most clients complain about when it comes to real estate agency is communication, right? So I make sure that anytime I'm going to show a house to a buyer, I'm communicating with them very well on that. I set schedules in the calendar. I send them invites to those calendars, schedules. I talk to them the day before the showing. I talk to them the morning of the showing. I say, hey, I'm looking forward to seeing you. And then once let's say we make an offer and that offer is accepted. So once we're under contract, it's a big communication there too. So basically, as soon as we go under contract, I generate this email that says, hey, these are the major dates associated with this. These are the things that you need to do. This is how you need to do it. And I go week by week, or, so I say the week of this, these are the things that need to be done. These are the things I'm doing, and I update them as I go along. So ultimately communication is key, and then personality too, right? So my initial take, like most agents, you get a phone call from a potential buyer. Most agents are saying, okay, I can definitely show you a house. Here's what we need to do. I need to sign you up on a buyer broker agreement, and we need to go see some houses, right? Unfortunately, right now with the NAR settlement, that's probably something I'm going to have to start doing now. But previously it was, hey, definitely I can show you, 5 houses in a day if you want. Let's go see some houses. And then as we go along, I establish rapport. As we're reviewing the houses, I talk about things that I see that, either need work or need updating, or things that are great and outstanding. So at the end of the day, when we're done doing all the showings, I've established that rapport and that trust so that when it comes time to write an offer, I'm the agent they're coming to. So I never have jumped on here's the buyer broker agreement, you need to sign it before we can see a house. I just started with the rapport building
And it's hard. A lot of people are uncomfortable signing anything when they feel that it's an intangible product, right? I understand that. In Canada, we have had buyer brokerage for about 6 years, 7 years, 10 years, I think now. And it was really hard to transition. But that did not come from the real estate industry pushing it. It came from a civil situation, just like the United States is facing, right? So full transparency on commissions, full transparency on everything, which means also full transparency on license, on contract or contractual duty or fiduciary duty. So yeah, that's going to be, but you're probably going to be great at it, Kris. You're probably going to be able to adopt those changes because you understand. I think a lot of people don't look into the reasons why they do things, but I think when you understand why you do things, it's easier. It feels more solid to put them into action. I have a quick question for you. You talked about scheduling and communication, and I do absolutely agree with you because National Association of Realtors did a survey and said 73% of all people who went to sell their home forgot who would have used their past agent, but they didn't remember exactly. Yeah.
Lost
Yeah.
the number.
That's a lot of business.
Text down the line. Yeah.
Yep. Yep. What are some a tool or something you use for your communication? What do you like?
I use my real estate agent phone number is actually through Google Voice. Just because I didn't want my personal number to be out there for everyone and their brother to text and call, and It's not that I don't like you. It's that I
Yeah.
want my business to be my business and my personal to be my personal. So I'm not going to give you my personal number unless you're a client that I've got clients that have my personal number, and it's because I've done numerous transactions with them. Because as an investor myself, I also work with investors, and I've got one client, for instance, that we have a listing right now, and this is the fourth house that I've sold for her. She
Wow.
has my personal number.
Yep.
uh,
Yep.
but like another thing I do is, I don't know if you can see that.
I
So
can
I
see that.
save
Yeah.
these little things, and I've got one on my phone too, where instead of carrying 8,000 business cards in my wallet, they just scan the QR code and they can download my information directly into their phone.
Yeah. I'm
Uh,
with you on that because I don't, you're probably because you serve so many markets, you're probably so busy that things are always moving and changing on you, right?
yes, exactly.
So, yeah, that QR code allows you to be fluid without losing the
On
traction.
my phone.
Oh, hold that up again, Chris. If you're out there in Chris's area, make sure that there you go. Put it up, pull it up a little bit. Up. There we go. Hold it right there. Everybody, there we go. Scan it, scan it. Okay. Awesome. And we're going to make sure that all of Chris's contacts are in there. And when we look for people to come on to the 500 doors, we're looking for people who are performing agents because we know that a very small percent of agents are actually doing
Yeah,
business.
I mean that's one thing they told me when I was getting my license. They said the normal agent doesn't do a transaction until like the 10th month they're licensed,
Hmm.
and I was like, well, that sucks.
Yeah.
So I got my license. I was still active duty. I was on shore duty, so I had some free time, and I was licensed in March, and I retired in September. So during that period, so March to December is when the first year that I was an agent was only actually like 8 months, 9 months, I guess, and I closed 12 transactions. I had a listing my first month as an agent.
Well, you beat me. It took me 6 months to get in, but I did do 12 in my first year.
Yeah.
So
Well,
yeah,
the first year, I think it was close to 5,000 or 5 million in, what do they call it? Volume, 5 million
yep,
in volume.
yep,
Um, and then the second year I did 14. And then this past year I did 18.
yep.
So a little incremental growth. But
But
yeah,
that's the
I jumped in with
steady.
both feet. I wasn't gonna, and I tried some of the lead generation stuff too. And I'm more of a, if you're a squeaky wheel, you get the grease kind of agent.
Yeah.
And the vast majority of my clientele have been referrals from other clients or referrals from fellow agents or stuff like that. So I'd say of all of my transactions, a handful have been from paid lead generation.
Yeah, I think a lot of people get lost in that, and I think that's why we have such a high flush out rate in real estate in with that 87% flushing out of the industry because they sit back and expect people to come to them, and they don't realize that this is really you being out there. Um, you know, it, when we're looking at your communities, what does community mean to you?
So I love the community here. It's so eclectic. I mean, you've got Norfolk and Portsmouth that are very city oriented. And then you've got the outlying areas like Virginia Beach and Chesapeake and Suffolk. Well, Virginia Beach and Chesapeake that are more suburbia style of neighborhoods. And then you've got Suffolk, which is a little bit more rural. And then you go up on the peninsula, and it's a whole different world up there too. It's just there's so many different places for so many different people here, and that's why I love it so much. And I think I didn't answer the question you asked at all.
Nope, that's community. But you've had multiple communities. You talked
Yeah,
about moving with your mom and your family, and then your military
oh,
community,
definitely.
your
Yeah.
Navy community. So,
Yeah,
um,
growing up in Mississippi, which is different than the that latter half of my younger life in Tennessee, and then 26 years in the Navy, living everywhere. Um,
and
Yeah.
And then all the foreign, like all the other foreign communities that you've had an opportunity to learn culture, and that's probably why communication's so strong for you. Is that is like such an integral piece to
Yeah.
being able to navigate other cultures.
Yeah, and like I know where I was going with that initial stuff. It was community is important, and that's part of the reason. So on my show, that's what I'm highlighting. I'm highlighting the community and what it has to offer. Um, everyone that sees it can understand why I love this area so much, and it's because of the people here and the culture and the lifestyle. It's an amazing place to live.
Amazing. What's a like something super cool, unique, like hidden gem, something that you found that you think everybody who's moving to your area should go and discover for themselves?
Our selection of restaurants is amazing. In fact, we have a large number of, if you've ever watched the show Diners, Drive-Ins, and Dives, we have a large
Yes.
number of diners, drive-ins, and dives places that
Very
appear on the
cool.
show and that are still around. 'Cause that's another thing is some of those don't stay around very long. But and then there's so many organizations here that are out to help people that have less. We've got an organization here called For Kids Inc. And their purpose is to help homeless children, which is, it's sad to know that there are homeless children out there, but that's what their purpose is. We have an organization called Union Mission Ministries that helps homeless people in general. So many organizations here that they're there to benefit the community and nothing else. So
That's amazing. And do you help? Well, you just did. You just
I do.
promoted
I
both of those.
donate
Yeah.
to those organizations all the time. In fact, our local hospital for children, we have a uh, Children's Hospital of King's Daughter, CHKD. They have organizations like that too. They have thrift stores that sell things. You donate stuff to the thrift store. The thrift store sells things. Those don't, that money goes toward the community. And it's, yeah.
What yeah, and that I think is something that is a unique quality that I see amongst, like, that top 5% or that top 1% of real estate agents that are community driven, is that there's also a community give back spirit.
Yes.
And I love that you, shared those with us. If you could quickly just share with us how we can find you, follow you, tell us a little bit about your TV show that you're on, your YouTube, and folks, we will have all of Kris's information in the show notes.
So I'm a host of the American Dream TV. It's actually a TV show that started in San Diego, but has gone nationwide. And they
Is that
initially started in major cities, major metropolitan areas, and they've since started expanding into smaller. Hampton Roads isn't considered a major metropolitan area, but we do have 1.7 million people here, so it's not small.
Nope, it's bigger than where I come from, Wichita, Kansas.
And the show focuses on, so it's not a reality show. It's a lifestyle and culture show with some real estate mixed in. And it's basically it's real estate agents and mortgage lenders mainly that are highlighting the pluses of their communities, and putting it out there for the world to see. So
And is that on Roku, or where is that? Where
it's
can
on
we find
Apple
that show?
TV,
It's on
Roku,
Apple?
Amazon Fire, Tubi, basically all of the streaming services. Actually, it's right here: Roku, Apple TV, Amazon Fire, Tubi. Um, yeah, pretty much all of them.
Wow,
Yeah, well,
that's awesome.
YouTube also, yeah.
That is awesome. And your YouTube, so what are the different channels that you are on? You're on Instagram. Are you on LinkedIn also?
I'm on Instagram, LinkedIn, Facebook, YouTube. Um, yeah, all of those.
And Kris, for our audio audience, can you just spell out your first and last name of how they can find you on those social platforms?
So first name is Kris, Kris, and second name is Kyzar, Kyzar. And basically just type in a Google search, Kris Kyzar, and you'll find everything you need to know.
Amazing. Amazing. Kris, I know you're super busy, but I really appreciate you taking your time to share what makes your community amazing, what makes your service great, and hoping that we as real estate agents can we can help move communities in a better forward motion, right? We can serve them. And I love the fact that you shared about community and we talked about the charity give back, but it all comes down to communication.
Absolutely.
Excellent. Thank you, Kris.
Thank you.
Oh, and Kris, thank you for your service.
Oh, thank you.
Thank you for joining us at the 500 Doors, Your Real Estate Podcast. Be sure to join our Facebook group at Real Estate Success with 500 Doors. Keep on watching and don't forget to like, subscribe, comment, and share because we all know sharing is caring.